Today I'm going to discuss with you why most VSLs flop and why most people cannot get them to work and why their businesses stay small. And if you do not know what a VSL is, that stands for a video sales letter. The primary objective of this, which is essentially a video which is on a landing page, is to get someone to take the next action, whether that is to book a sales call, buy the thing you're selling, whatever that might be. Now, this is like the holy grail of online digital marketing. If you can get a VSL to work on cold paid traffic, where you take someone who doesn't know who you are, they come from an ad to the landing page, they book a sales call and they sign up, and you can do that profitably, you can scale pretty much infinitely, depending on how many clients you can take and how many calls you can take. But 99.9% of people cannot do this. We have done this and we have helped numerous coaches do this. We had another 2 coaches break 100K in the last 4 weeks. That's 20 in the last 12 months. And a lot of this is down to this method. Now, if we look at why VSLs don't work, you have to firstly start at the beginning. What has the highest point of leverage is the ad and the actual hook on the ad. So your ads have to do a couple of things. 1, grab attention with a hook. 2, have something that creates curiosity. And if you want the most powerful word in marketing is new. So we have an ad that's running at the moment. That's kind of shitty black background, white text. And it's like a new system for using AI to get coaching clients. This is how 18 coaches made over 100K a month, something like that. And the word new creates curiosity because people want to know what the new thing is. So you need this in all of the things you do. And if you're doing video ads, you also want to make sure that you keep making them very dynamic. You ideally have visual props. And then the third aspect to making sure the ads are good is what? Social proof. You have to have social proof in the ad to make sure it actually pulls people through to the end result of what they want. So whether that's for dads to have a great physique, great family, and great finances, whether it's like we do, we help people scale wildly profitable fitness businesses. That is in essence what you want to make sure you have in the ad with an example of an actual real person, not someone made up. And you have to think about this all the time is throughout the whole process is proof over promises. So the first part is ads. If you go into your ads manager, if I'm going to go very tactical, which I can do because I actually do this shit and I know how to run it inside out, is you want to make sure that your ads have at least a 1% click-through rate. Now, something else you can look on ads are what called CPM, which is cost per 1,000 views in French, cost per milli, I think in French, very fancy. And essentially that's how much it's costing you to get 1,000 views. Now, some people obsess about getting a cheap CPM. What happens in life is you get what you pay for. So if you get very cheap CPMs, you're probably getting a load of brokies who aren't going to necessarily buy the thing. If the CPMs are maybe slightly higher, you're probably getting a higher level demographic. So when we look at that from an ads perspective, the first thing I'd look at is the CTR, and then I'd look at like how many leads you're kind of generating from this.
Quick interjection. 90% of fitness coaches never break the £5,000 a month barrier. Not because they're not good coaches, but because they're missing the systematic approach to scaling. I've been there. I was trapped at £3,000 a month, working 60 hours a week, trading time for money like everyone else. Fitness coaches systematically break through the £10,000. Some even hit 25K, 50K, 100K, and even more. And the difference, they stopped guessing and started following a proven framework. So if you're serious about scaling your fitness business beyond the feast or famine cycle, I'm offering free strategy calls this week where I'll walk you through the exact system.
If you're looking to really scale this up, you want to be using an ad tracking software called Hyros, which will actually give you the accurate data because Facebook Ads Manager is wildly inaccurate. So once you pull people from the ad, you're then going to pull them to the opt-in page of the VSL. And with the VSL, you have 2 options. 1, you send them direct to the video. Number 2 is you send them to an opt-in page first, where you get their email, phone number, and we also take their Instagram username. Now, you've got 2 options with that. Which one should you do? Split test both. With us testing going direct to the video funnel or going direct to the opt-in, we have found the direct to opt-in is more profitable because we can get people's details. We can then outreach them. The VSL, although you get more people to watch the video, has been less profitable for us. I would suggest to everyone that you split test that and then try it yourself. In terms of the actual video on the page, this wants to do a couple of different things. You want to make sure that your VSL is congruent with the ad. So if in your ad, you're talking about how to get guys 6-pack shredded while eating the food they want, you then want to talk about that in the VSL and have a unique mechanism that makes them excited about this thing. And within the VSL, you want to do the same as the ads. You want to do case studies, stories, show client results. because people buy when they see other people have bought and got the end result that they want. So that's a huge thing you want to be looking at. This whole process needs to be very, very simple, and you need to look at this step by step. So once you look at the ad, you're going to take them either to an opt-in or to the VSL. If you take them to an opt-in, you want to be tracking and split testing the opt-in page very heavily in terms of the headline and then also the images on there. Make sure it's very clean. Make sure you also optimize your pages for mobile. Then when you come onto the video and then basically booking a call, I would always statistically recommend yellow or orange as the call booking buttons because they have the highest conversion rates. If you go and look at why Amazon and eBay have certain call booking buy buttons, statistically backed up. And then you want to have the calendar. So the calendar is obviously before the call. You are going to adjust this depending on what you need. If you do not have enough calls, you maybe want to reduce friction. If you have calls, but they're crap quality, you want to add more friction. And here's a framework you can use to optimize this. It's called BANT. Budget, authority, need, timeline. This is essentially what the qualification process on a call booking should look like. So this is an overview in terms of the initial flow of the VSLs. We help clients scale and build. So they basically have a money-making machine within their business. Now, why do a lot of coaches still not manage to do this even when they get this set up? They don't understand the KPIs in terms of what you should be looking at. So one of the reasons people's VSLs fail is because they don't actually spend enough money quick enough. I'll give an example. So let's say Joey, the fitness coach, comes along. He wants to run a VSL. He only puts £20 a day on ads, and he runs the ads for 7 days, and he doesn't book any calls. He turns the VSL off. So then what happens? So he spent £140 and he has achieved nothing. Now, why do I know this is a mistake? Because he actually hasn't spent enough. If the other metrics were okay, like the click-through rate, the cost per 1,000 views, the opt-in rates, the VSL watch time, the reality is he actually hasn't spent enough. Because what you want to be looking at in terms of VSLs, they can be varying between £200 to £400 maybe to get a call booked. If you really want to print cash, you ideally probably want, in fitness, you want to be around probably about 100. And a lot of people just don't spend enough. And let's say they spend £20 a day and they put it in one campaign, which has got 4 ads. So that £20 is getting split 4 ways. So you're not actually giving the creative enough push to actually get the conversions you want. And this is where you have to track your life, like your life depends on it, with all of these metrics. So we have a manual spreadsheet we're actually just going to build AI into at the moment using AI agents that tracks all the metrics day on day on day in terms of like cash collected, revenue collected, or sorry, revenue contracted, because you can't collect revenue in one go. That's why it's called revenue. So you can see the projections. And this is where you need to basically create an asymmetric bet for yourself. You need to know your numbers really well and know how much you can afford for cost per call, how much you make per client. And when you know this, the VSL just becomes simple math, and then it becomes a game of optimization and not getting bored. So once you have a base fundamental of it working, it's okay, cool. How can we improve the ads? How can I improve the opt-in rate? How can I maybe improve the sales team? You do little tweaks, and these little 2 to 5% improvements suddenly mean you'll go from maybe like 2 to 3x ROAS to maybe 6 to 8x ROAS. And if you're at 6 to 8x, you can scale and spend dramatically. Now, my final piece of golden advice for you with this is we use AI to build out VSLs that absolutely slay using the actual data within your own business. If you want help doing this, DM me AI VSL and I can walk you through exactly how we do that. The second thing I'm saying in terms of from a piece of advice standpoint is when you launch these, make sure you launch them on warm traffic only on ads for testing, because warm is more forgiving than when you go to cold traffic, which tends to be a lot more difficult. If you took some value from this and you like this high level type of strategical stuff, we work with the biggest and best fitness coaches in the world. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, share this with a friend, and drop any questions below in the comments, and we'll see you in the next episode on screen right now.